Guardiola extends City deal, Haaland wants Dortmund trophies, Real Madrid enter Genie chase, a transfer roundup, and today's Friday feels all coming up in the next few minutes as I'm your host Matt Froelich, you are the OneFootballers, and this is the Daily News. So first up, and Manchester City have extended the contract of manager Pep Guardiola for another 2 seasons. His deal was due to expire at the end of the current campaign, but now he is signed on the dotted line until 2023, and Manchester City fans will be rather excited. Not only are they seeing the extension of one of the greatest managers in their recent history, but also all the footballing brilliance that Pep Guardiola brings to the game. And on top of all this, I can't help but think this may be, just a little bit of a precursor to a potential Lionel Messi deal. Yes, Manchester City do have the finances to go ahead and give Messi a rather interesting contract to offer when it comes to wages and signing on bonuses, but on top of this, the potential of a reunion with him and Pep Guardiola surely will be playing on the Argentinians' mind. So why not go ahead and sign Guardiola up to a new deal to literally convince Messi to join the club? If you look at it a little bit deeper than that, Lionel Messi's probably got a few years left in him, so maybe him and Guardiola riding off into the sunset after 2023 is the perfect deal and the perfect amount of time for them to do some real damage with Manchester City. Having said that though, there is a few conflicting reports coming out of Barcelona that the interim board, who are in place since Josep Bartomeu resigned and until the new president is elected, could not sign off on any major transfers, meaning he may not actually even be able to leave the club. On top of this, former Barcelona great Rivaldo has said this will be Messi's last year at the Nou Camp and he will be leaving at the end of the season. We're not quite sure what's going to happen yet, so it's all just paper talk at the moment. Moving on though, and to Erling Haaland, whose dad is rubbishing all of the paper talk that his son will be leaving Dortmund. Erling Haaland, the former Manchester City and Leeds player, has said that Haaland loves playing at Dortmund at the moment. He's a perfect fit for the Bundesliga side and he wants to win trophies with the club. He did go on though to talk about Manchester United quite a lot and how they have been very successful in the Premier League, obviously not in recent seasons, and are looking to build something great and take down the top of the Premier League. Of course, this is exactly what Dortmund are doing in the Bundesliga too. Trying to get past Bayern Munich though is proving a little bit more difficult than first thought. Bayern have been absolutely dominant in the last, 7 or 8 years since Dortmund last won the title, and Haaland is hoping to help turn his team's fortunes around. At the moment, honestly, I couldn't think of a better place for Haaland. They're a very young, very attacking, exciting team with loads of football to be played, and Haaland is at the forefront of everything good they do in attack. I mean, who wouldn't want to play along the sides the likes of Jadon Sancho, Gio Reyna, Brandt, Hazard, Marco Reus? There's loads of other players I've probably forgot to mention, but that is an unbelievable squad and such a good place for him to grow and honestly to score more goals. His dad also did say that he feels like his son could take on any challenge in the top European leagues, but of course you're going to big up your own kid regardless of whether or not he's a footballer. Following on from that though, and Real Madrid is set to join the chase for Genie Wijnaldum. There's been loads of talk that he is going to leave Liverpool because they still haven't offered him a new contract. The Dutch player, who had a very, very good international break, has certainly been on the radar of Barcelona, but like we mentioned before, we don't know whether they can sign or sell anybody. They apparently need to sell someone to raise some money to go ahead and pay 25 million for Genie Wijnaldum. And to other clubs, the likes of Inter Milan and, as I said, Real Madrid, who are very interested, 25 million doesn't seem too much. I'm gathering that Liverpool would rather just keep him and lose one of free at the end of the season because, well, not only are they going through a massive injury crisis at the moment, although Genie doesn't exactly help because he's not going to be a centre-back, but on top of this, they might as well just keep the squad together. There's not really much point in selling him just for the extra 20 million in January, 25 million, whatever, and then having to go and sign a replacement who could potentially not be part of the squad in the future. Let's be honest here, Liverpool fans, Genie Wijnaldum's spot isn't exactly something that someone's going to come in, take, and be part of the starting 11. His spot is the one under threat in the midfield. Jordan Henderson's the captain and going to start more games than not. They've just signed Thiago, who's a phenomenal midfielder and definitely commanding a starting place. And in my opinion, Fabinho is the best defensive midfielder in the Premier League. So technically, they're going to have to go out and sign someone who's going to be on the bench. Moving on then to a quick roundup of the rest of the news and transfer news that you might have missed. And Southampton's Oriol Romeo has extended his contract for a further 2 years. Next up, and Everton are making the most Everton Premier League signing of all time by going to Manchester United and signing someone who's not quite good enough for them in the form of Dan James. England women's boss Phil Neville is on the lookout for a new number 2 after Rhian Skinner left to become the Tottenham women's boss. And lastly but not least, Dani Ceballos took to Twitter to rubbish reports that him and David Luiz had a fight during training. This led to loads of people asking for him to take a selfie to prove that he doesn't have the scratches on his nose after apparently David Luiz clocked him one. So, having said all this, I think he doesn't have to prove shit. Whatever happens behind closed doors happens. People fight in training all the time. Let them scrap, let them have it out, shake hands afterwards, and I'm sure the Arsenal dressing room is absolutely fine. So finally then we come to this week's Friday Feels. You guys know what it is, where you leave your footballing predictions in the comment section down below and we read out some of the correct ones on Monday, and my word, it is a phenomenal weekend of football. Forget about the international break. Club football is back and back with a bang. First off, towards the top of Serie A, AC Milan take on Napoli. This is going to be a difficult game. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. Atletico Madrid are hosting Barcelona this weekend without Luis Suarez, who tested positive for COVID. But saying that, I think Diego Simeone's men are going to pile the pressure on Ronald Koeman with a 2-1 victory. And lastly but not least, on Sunday night, a massive game as injury hit Liverpool take on Leicester. And having seen what Leicester can do this season, having seen their fantastic win away at Manchester City, I'm going to go for Brendan Rodgers to get a win over his old side in a 3-1 victory at Anfield. So that's all from me. Leave your Friday feels down below and check out what we've got going on OneFootball around here. Until next time though, have a great weekend and I will see you guys soon.